What made me decide on CHE was the lectures. So you don't have a full day of lectures with the same person. There's a variety and it just makes it so enjoyable. I really enjoy the lectures and there's no lecture I don't like. And even some of the topics that mightn't be as interesting for everyone, they make it interesting.
You know, when I started CHE, 1998, a long time ago now, nearly 28 years, all those people that teach at CHE, they're all with me at the very beginning. Because to me, it's not necessarily what they do, it's who they are. And these are great clinicians. And for me, the real touch, the real sort of important thing about anybody who teaches at CHE is they're all in practice. Nobody's just teaching you theory. They're all in clinical practice. So some people will be listening going, oh, I would love to be a practitioner, but I don't know whether I can do it. I've been out of education a long time. I've got 2 kids. Well, we do all...
If you live in Australia and you have been thinking about becoming a homeopath for some time, I have the most incredible news I want to share with you. Starting in September 2025, I am launching the Centre for Homeopathic Education in Australia. I still cannot believe it. I am excited beyond belief, beyond words, beyond anything. So as many of you might have heard me interview the lovely Marcus Fernandez from the Centre for Homeopathic Education in the UK, they have been running for 28 years and have the most incredible quality of training that any homeopath could ever hope for. I have been a member of CHE Pro since 2019, and you would have heard me mention them so many times over the years because I am so passionate about the quality of education from this incredible school. So, if you want more information, visit chehomeopathy.com.au. So the .com will take you to the UK site, but if you're in Australia, go to chehomeopathy.com.au. Also keep an eye on my social media because I will be posting dates on there for regular Q&A sessions that we will have in the lead up to the start of the academic year in September. So you can bring all of your questions until you arrive at a place where you can decide whether this is the right school for you. We are going to have the most incredible, soulful, in-person catch-ups all around Australia. We will be having regular Zoom catch-ups to make sure that everyone is really happy and they're on track with their studying, clarifying any questions that you might have along the way. And my commitment to you, the students of CHE Australia, is that you will be an incredibly confident practitioner ready to go out and make a difference in this world. So if you want more information, go to cheaustralia.com.au. We will have a limit on the amount of students that we will take in to make sure that we can really hold space for each and every one of you and make sure that you have the most personal, deep experience in your learning that you possibly can have. I think I've used the word incredible an incredible amount of times in this intro, but that will just give you an idea of the unbelievable excitement that I have about this new venture. And for those who are listening to this right now who feel called, get in touch. Together, we can really make a change in this world, and especially in Australia. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now my mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and welcome back to Homeopathy Hangout, where today we get to hang out with my incredible, beautiful, gorgeous, longtime friend, Elaine MacDonald, who featured in episode 24 and also 331. And also the man behind the Centre for Homeopathic Education, or CHE, who is sponsoring my podcast so that everyone in the world can continue listening to Homeopathy Hangout free of charge, the only Marcus Fernandez. Welcome to the show, guys.
What an intro, Elaine, eh? What an intro.
It's so lovely.
I'm actually impressed you remember those episodes as well. I'm pretty impressed you remember those.
I write it all down. So I'll tell you a secret. Normally I wing it at the intro, and actually I wanted to make sure that I do this right because today is probably out of 400 episodes, the most important episode that I have ever dropped. Like I'm actually getting goosebumpy and like shaky, and I knew I had to write this down because otherwise I might forget what I want to say out of pure excitement. But I'm going to be doing a spoiler alert in the intro of this episode. So if anybody's already made it this far, you know we are launching Centre for Homeopathic Education in Australia. But firstly, we want to chat with my friend Elaine. Elaine was one of the first people I met when I moved to Perth, which is now almost 9 years ago. Hey, Elaine.
Wow.
Crazy, hey? So we've known each other that long. She's one of the first people I met. I'm so grateful because she actually helped get my clinic as busy as it is. She's a huge advocate of homeopathy. She's got her own incredible story. And next weekend, she is graduating at Centre of Homeopathic Education. Actually, she's in Ireland at the moment. She's flying over to London to go and graduate. And you two will get to hang out together. Oh, you got to get to meet each other in Bali next year anyway. I'm blabbering. See why I wrote stuff down. And I'm just so proud of Elaine. I'm so excited that we have this super high caliber, incredible homeopath that is joining our ranks. So firstly, Elaine, congratulations.
Yeah, big congratulations.
Actually, Marcus and I both have good mics, so you probably can't hear us clapping. Hey, can you hear it? No, our mics cut it out. Elaine, tell us about the past 2 years, because you did the fast track. So CHE has got the option for the 4 years, or it's got the 2-year fast track, which is double the speed. You did the 2 years. And you've got a couple of kids and a FIFO husband. You're possibly a little bit crazy, but you managed to do it anyway. Tell us about what the 2 years was like.
It was hectic. It was great because I suppose I'm older coming into it and I've had a lot of knowledge prior. Well, I thought I had a lot of knowledge prior when I started studying and realised I had none. I like to just throw myself into something. If I'm doing it, I do it. And it's I like to work under pressure. It's amazing. I can't believe how much I know now compared to I did when I started. I remember actually saying I have Dean Brett as my supervisor. I said to him one day, God, there's so much in homeopathy, I'm never going to know it. And he says, yeah, but look how much you know already, where you've come from here, and that's pretty much been it. I love it. The history of it, I didn't realise all that information that we don't know. I'll just say for home prescribers, you think you know a lot about it, you don't. It's actually so much more than you ever would realise. There's so much more to it.
Incredible. And I tell you what, I've always called Elaine an honorary homeopath because she knows so much. I swear she knows more than most homeopaths. And so for you to say that once you start studying, and I think because as a home prescriber, you kind of do surface stuff, right? But when you go to study at a reputable college, you get this real deep dive and this grounding that roots you into homeopathy. And so then you go out into the world as a confident prescriber because you've got deep, deep roots.
Well, I actually compare it a bit to medicine. Like, we're doing all this pathologies and illness and diseases, and people come to homeopathy with very serious stuff these days. And you have to understand a lot about the allopathic way of treatment as well to actually be able to homeopathically prescribe. So that for me alone, like even, people come to me now that I understand when they talk about thyroid, I understand the tests, I understand, things like that. The layers, where we're missing a bit in the allopathic world, we're treating people. We're actually treating the layers, the symptoms of their disease. So if 10 people came to and they have Hashimoto's, they'll all probably have a different prescription. And it's to understand that. You really need to understand and learn about people and learn about remedies and learn how to talk to people. And nowadays as well, I think a big thing with homeopathy as well is you're actually listening to people. People go to the doctor now and they're in and out in 5 minutes. We give people time. We teach them. We talk to them, we listen to them, they can tell us what's going on, and we get to know them in a very deep level, something that's not available anymore.
I just want to say what you were saying about the anatomy and physiology, like training that is included in it. It's great kind of understanding when your client's throwing out this medical terminology because you have learned anatomy and physiology, so you kind of understand what they're saying and you know what it is that you need to treat. But why I always feel it's important to have that strong grounding in anatomy and physiology is that when you know it's time to refer, because if you cannot understand a warning, I mean, we we can treat everything, we're homeopaths, or, not cure everything, but we've got a remedy for everything we can help. But you need to know when it's time to refer somebody to a medical professional. And if you don't have that solid, medical training as part of your homeopathic training, and you are treating a client that actually has some serious medical stuff going on and you need to refer out, that is where us as homeopaths can get into really, really big trouble.
Yeah.
We actually learned about the red flags and, what you need to look at and even when we're being taught different various diseases, when is it the time to refer them on to a doctor? Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And I think as well, the way that we teach the anatomy and physiology, I don't really agree, Elaine, but it's very about the clinical presentation of it. It's not getting bogged down into biochemistry. It's actually what you're going to see in clinic in an everyday situation. And also often you'll be learning that the anatomy and physiology, say, for example, the cardiovascular system, and you'll be doing remedies like lachesis in the Materia Medica module. So everything sort of interlinks to what you're learning. And this is one of the areas that when I interview students about coming onto a course, that's one of their sort of like fears. Oh my God, I've got to do anatomy and physiology. But what you have to remember is you're doing something that you're an adult learner, and B, that you're learning something that actually you want to learn, and you'll find it fascinating as it interacts, like I said, with the materia medica, the remedies, as well as the physiology or pathology. So, and we do have a lot of support here around that. Because they say the statistic is 80% of people that go back into adult education, and most people who are retraining, often coming into homeopathy, are processing their previous education experience. And we're very aware of that. Over 28 years, we have the sort of student support and academic support. If you do feel that you've forgotten how to write an essay again, or you've forgotten how to sort of just even study skills. But Elaine, would you feel that would you agree you felt supported in that?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had Natasha. So if we're having any trouble, we can just book in a session with her and talk it through. And then you can have ongoing sessions if you feel you need them. They will communicate with you on an ongoing basis to help you through and help you understand, or at least identify what part of the learning you're finding difficult and why.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How did you find it actually going into clinic, and what was it like taking that first case?
I threw myself into it very quickly, actually, because I had the business at home, the gyrotonic people that came for that. A lot of them, I started doing their cases near the start. For me, look, having the support of the supervisor really helps there. I do bring most of my cases to Dion, and we work through them together. And that's actually been probably the biggest learning for me as well, because he's 30-something years doing homeopathy. So you look at it completely different when you have someone like his experience helping you. But taking cases, I love it. So I just signed up recently for the Gambia project, and where Samina has got some online, a huge crowd of homeopaths online are supporting Gambia now, and we have slots. You book in slots. They have the clinic going 5 days a week. So I do about 3 hours a week, and I'm sitting in with a homeopath, and sometimes there's more than one of us in there, or more than two of us, and we're taking acutes. Like we had 13 patients in 2.5 hours, and that's with translators. So there's obviously they're translating for you as well, and but learning so much. I'm meeting so many CHE graduates actually, because it's such a lot of them probably have heard of Samina and the Gambia project, well, through your podcast, Eugenie, but also through Marcus. And so many of those are volunteering. So there's homeopaths there that have, been qualified years and years ago. So again, it's another learning experience.
Yeah.
But one thing I have learned, you need to know how to take acutes.
Absolutely.
And that's the foundation for your chronics when you go forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to say about the Gambia clinic, so this is a clinic that we founded back in 2012, and we built the clinic there, and we've treated over 30,000 people for free over that period. And we take a lot of graduates over there. But now what we've done, we've shifted the focus, and really we're teaching the doctors, the nurses, the doulas how to use homeopathy within the clinic. And now we just reopened the clinic because after COVID, it had to shut. And then the termites got in and destroyed a lot of the woodwork and the doors. So we had to rebuild it all. And we got an official launch in November, but we got the clinic up and running a couple of weeks ago. And now that's going to be part of the clinical training for CHE students, that they will, as you said, Elaine is right. The acutes is so crucial. And you can't beat that clinical experience, because homeopathy is not just an academic exercise. You learn it by doing it. And the more that you do it, the better more confident you become.
And can I just also say, as a recent, not even graduate, you will be this weekend officially, but to take 13 cases in 2 hours, I mean, that is nuts.
There was a homeopath with me as well. And
Still, though, it doesn't matter.
But everybody sort of got it now, where everyone works together and everyone can ask questions, and it actually runs really smoothly.
But to have the guts to put your hand up, I mean, to feel confident enough to do that is incredible.
Yeah, because I was really nervous doing it, but because I had met Samina and I knew what it was about, and I knew all the blood, sweat and tears that had been put into this clinic, and these people really need it. So lots of students. Lots and lots of students, lots of CHE students. I've met third-year students. There's even some second-year students. And I believe that I saw somebody first-year student in there. So if you can throw yourself into something like that, start as you're doing, Marcus.
Yeah.
Learning that at the start is the basis for everything. Being a really good acute prescriber gives you that foundational knowledge and all the remedies. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
I just want to
Absolutely.
say my interview with Samina is on episode 301. It was the 24th of June last year, so almost exactly a year ago. Wow. So have a listen to episode 301 for our listeners if you haven't already. It's such a worthwhile project to support. It's amazing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Elaine, have you got like an area that you think you're going to be specializing in now that you're about to graduate?
I'm quite interested, well, probably because of my age and that, I'm quite interested in perimenopause. Thyroid seems to be a big thing at the moment. I'm meeting lots of people who've had my age who've had thyroid removed. I think probably somewhere down that road would be something I would be interested in. I'm also very interested in the organ remedies, and that's probably Dion's influence as well. So, yeah.
I love the organ remedies. Honestly, they are the unsung heroes. The way that they can support the physiology of our bodies in order for the remedies to work properly is incredible. And I am so jealous that you got to have Dion as a supervisor. I mean, that's just incredible.
He's in great demand.
Actually, Marcus, this is I think one of the, why it was a heartfelt all over yes for me about starting CHE in Australia is because I've been a CHE Pro member since 2019. I think when you launched CHE Pro, and I was thinking the other day, how did I learn about CHE? How did I find out about CHE Pro? I don't even know, but I got this email somewhere, found out that you're launching this. And so I've been CHE Pro member since 2019. Love it. So you've got such an incredible range of lecturers. And that's one of the things that I love about CHE is you're learning from so many different people. And as somebody who has now released 400 episodes and interviewed homeopaths all over the world, every single one of us comes from a different angle and has something else to teach. And so the more people you're learning from, the more of a well-rounded practitioner you end up being. And the more tools you have to help people, because you're going to get people from all walks of life, and the more different ways that you can think. And like if we had 100 homeopaths taking a case, I swear all of us would come up with a different remedy or a different protocol or a different something. So I think that is a huge, huge strength that CHE has, is that you have such a variety of lecturers. Actually, Elaine might be able to say something about that.
Well, that was actually what made me decide on CHE was the lectures. Now, because I've been surrounded by yourself and Nicole, I've had some experience with lectures previous to starting the course. Hilary Dorian, if you're a homeopath, everyone knows who Hilary Dorian is. Like, a lot of people who are going into it probably wouldn't realize. But that was my deciding factor. I knew these people had experience. So Hilary's 40-something years. Dion is my age and has 30-something years experience as a homeopath. And Marcus takes lectures there. The quality, it also, for somebody studying, because there's a lot of hours, you're in this for whatever length of time you're doing, it makes it more interesting. So you don't have a full day of lectures with the same person. There's a variety, and it just makes it so enjoyable. I really enjoy the lectures, and there's no lecture I don't like. And even some of the topics that mightn't be as interesting for everyone, they make it interesting.
Well, I think that, when I started CHE, 1998, a long time ago now, nearly 28 years this year coming up, it was really all those people that teach at CHE, like you said, Hilary did, they're all with me at the very beginning. It's like because to me, it's not just only what they do, it's who they are as well. And these are great clinicians. And for me, the real sort of important thing about anybody who teaches at CHE is they're all in practice. Nobody's just teaching you theory. They're all in clinical practice. And this is what you said then, Elaine. It's like, when somebody teaches you from clinical experience, you just know. And you need a wide variety of teachers because, like you're saying, Eugenia, people come with a different angle, but you need to have different perspectives because at CHE, we're not trying to make mini-me's of us. We're trying to make you to be the homeopath that you're going to be, to draw that out of you. You'll take a bit from Hilary, you'll take a bit from Diem, a bit from Mike, a bit from Susie, and you'll draw out the homeopath that you're going to be. And I think if you've only got a small amount or teacher, or one or two teachers throughout your whole training, I think you're very limited. And the second point that you mentioned, Eugene, about tools in the toolbox, that has been the mantra for CHE. We teach classical homeopathy as your foundation stone. It's your foundation. But then we'll move on to the layers method or Isiaga, or we'll go on to organ support remedies or tautopathy. It's not that one methodology is better than the other. It's patient-driven, not methodology-driven. So, as you know, in homeopathy, there's politics in everything, including homeopathy. When I train, you're either very classical or you're very practical, but it's not about, it should be patient-driven, client-driven. So we try to give you the tools in the toolbox in order to use whatever tool when that person walks through the door. And I don't know whether you feel, when you come to the end now of your training, Elaine, I mean, I've not asked you this question. Do you feel like that? Do you feel you've got the tools in the toolbox?
Yes, yeah, we've done so many methodologies. We have, I've used different methods already in my case taking, and it's what suits the patient at the time.
Exactly.
I actually love the variety. I mean, I don't think anyone should be rooted in any one thing. Everything's evolving all the time, as is homeopathy. And that's what I like, that we get to see it all. It's not just one dogma approach. There's many approaches, many lecturers there that actually use different approaches. How Colin Griffith would teach you about remedies is very different to how someone else like Hilary might teach you, or Dion,
or Ralph, or somebody,
or Ralph, or someone like, I'm trying to think, Tony
Bridger,
Tony. Materia Medica. Nobody does Materia Medica like Tony. He actually goes into the character of the remedy when he's teaching it. So it's all that variety. Yeah, I love Ralph as well. Ralph is so knowledgeable in all the philosophy. I've actually found the history fascinating.
Yes,
I mean, I think if people knew the history of homeopathy, there'd be a lot more people using it.
Absolutely.
I just have to
people
say,
have no idea. They have no idea. Sorry, but they have no idea. I was talking to, I used to teach in New York, and I used to say to them, the students, do you realize the history in America of homeopathy? And even they didn't realize the history. So I'm with you, Elaine. I love the history. It shows that we're not a new age modality. We've got hundreds of years of clinical experience of work and evidence, as well as, like I said, the history.
I just have to add in there about Tony. So when Marcus and I decided that we're going to do CHE Australia, he gave me access to the learning platform, which I had actually seen before because I was at Elaine's house about a year or so ago. And I said, Elaine, people are always asking me to different places. Although I know I've been using CHE Pro since 2019, I haven't seen the student portal. And so I was so glad to see it's that same professional format that I was used to in CHE Pro. Very easy, actual lectures, not just like reading sheets and sheets of paper. It's actually in-person lectures. But then I have logged into the student portal. I've started watching some of the lectures so that, when we start up in September, that I know what is in the content. And I listened to Tony's lecture on belladonna, and he was talking about how you can even give it to kids after they've had lots of gaming and they're just like all ragey afterwards. And I thought, I've never thought about that, but it makes so much sense. And that is when you have a clinician teaching you who's not just teaching Materia Medica from a book, but somebody who is in clinic, who has seen kids that have done too much gaming, who are going off their rockers, they give them belladonna and it works, and then they transfer that clinical knowledge on. But then also how he's saying, if you can't differentiate between aconite, belladonna, chamomilla, give them ABC. It's all three at the same time. You need to do something on the spot. And he makes it so alive. And I am actually so excited going through like the whole student.
Well, that's the thing though. That's the thing,
again.
Isn't it? It's like you can never, it's like you said at the very beginning, Elaine, it's like you can never come to the end of learning homeopathy. We become a homeopath. It's a becoming. It's even now when you graduate, it's like when you pass your test in the car. It's like, okay, you got nobody sat next to you, but this is where the learning begins, but you become it. I think I practice in such a simple way, a sort of, just very simple, but that's taken in a way years to be like that. But sometimes I think I'm a bit boring in my prescribing, but actually you just know what you're doing. And I think simplicity is really crucial. That's when you drop the knowledge and pick up the wisdom.
Actually, Marcus, you were the one that said that when you wrote your homeopathy at home book and you revisited all of those, polycrest remedies again, how you kind of see them through a different light.
Well, you look at it with new eyes. There's a really great quote, and I love this quote. You'll hear me say it a lot, but I'm still the student sick of me saying it. But we don't see how things are. We see things as we are. And so, like you said, you can listen to that belladonna lecture, Eugenie, with completely different eyes, 20 odd years or whatever down the road than you would when you heard it for the very first time. So that's what's great about homeopathy. You can never get to the end of it. That's why I love it so much. It's like you can read pulsatilla and see a different picture because of the client who sat in front of you, so you never come to the end of it. It's great.
Something else I'm so excited to talk about, because when we were in Unleashing Homeopathy in Bali last year, Marcus was our final lecturer of the conference. I don't like calling it a conference because it's more like a retreat, like it's a homeopath's retreat. But Marcus finished off the Unleashing Homeopathy conference, which was all about thinking outside the box, doing amazing things. Samina talked about Gambia, and we had talked about incredible remedies. And then Marcus finished it all off with AI. And he just blew our minds because he was doing stuff that I did not even know you could do with AI yet. And this was a year ago. And of course, the speed at which everything's going, you're like next level again. But Marcus has just talked. I hope we're allowed to talk about your new platform, but CHE is moving to a top of the range,
building a new
incredible platform, which is going to be launched. I think you said in August. Hey, so in time for the new intake in September.
For the new academic year.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, basically, look, AI is an interesting one. I said this at the conference at the Unleashing Homeopathy last year, was that, I get very excited about it because I can see what it can do and enhance what we do, especially in education and also within homeopathy. And the other side, I go, oh my goodness, this could go out of control. So I'm always in this, if you know homeopathy, anybody listening, anacardium state, like the angel and the devil. It's a little bit like that. But I think it can really enhance education. In fact, as you know, I use it. I've got an AI clone of myself that my patients use, but they can access me 24/7 or, if they've got acute issues. But really, it's about bringing it into much more of a hyper-personalization of the education experience. And, for example, just having a 24 tutor available, which knows all the content, all the videos, all the things, just to enhance that student experience. Because you may be watching at 1 o'clock in the morning a lecture and you can interact and ask the video, questions. And so it's just really enhancing it and including things like subtitles as well. And as we go forward, it'll be in different languages as well for people when English is not their first language. So there's a lot that we can use, integrate it, but also with this new platform we built, you'll be able to use it on your mobile as well. So, you're not just restricted to the desktop to watch it. So, yeah, it's a very exciting time for education. And I believe with AI, it's about enhancing what we do, not necessarily replacing what we do. And it's going to be in everything. And it's going to change health and education in a big way. So particularly education, I think. I think this one size fit all doesn't work anymore, the old model. It'll be very much like if you're more of an auditory learner, like you like to listen to things, and your learning will be on like podcasts, in a podcast form, an audio form that you can listen to. If you're more visual, you'll be watching the videos. So, it's really adapting to the individual, just like homeopathy. It's homeopathic really in its nature, but it will definitely enhance the learning experience.
After I came off my call with you a little while ago about starting CHE Australia, I went out into the house and I said to my husband, we're going to do this. And he immediately said, yes, it's like the perfect thing for us to do. Also because he's spoken with Marcus about AI in the past. And so they're kind of on the same wavelength in that way. And my husband created an AI bot for us. It must be about 2 years ago now. She's called Jeannie, and you'll find her in the bottom right-hand corner of eugeniekruger.com. And so he's trained her up on, trained her up on the knowledge on our website. And we've had tens of thousands of queries through that of people asking, my child's got an ear infection, got a fever, And so it's been trained up, and it's so good when you have AI in something like a learning platform where that AI is learning all the content. And so if you're stuck on something and you need clarification, that AI knows everything there and it can see the bigger picture and it can really help you understand a topic that you might find a little bit confusing. And so instead of trying to call someone and all that, you can just find the answer out on the spot. But obviously, we will never, ever, ever lose that human connection at CHE. But there will always be all that support, which maybe I can kind of transition into CHE Australia.
No, totally. Well, you will have that. Yeah, you'll have all that access.
Because I just want to say how excited I am about CHE Australia, because homeopathy is going off in Australia. And where, in Europe, there's so many schools closing. I was chatting with the beautiful Anna Vavag, and she's had her homeopathy school for almost 30 years, and they've had to close it down because homeopathy is pretty much all but illegal over there now, which is crazy considering it comes from, from Germany, from Europe. That's always been where homeopathy has lived. And now it's just being squashed left, right, and center. But I feel like we're kind of holding the torch down here in Australia, keeping it alight until, things can, just pick up again over there, which I think it will. But we need CHE's quality education here in Australia. And so I'm just so excited for us to be launching this in Australia, where, like Marcus, you've got lots of good sayings, but one of them is something about, you say about something is global and something is local. What's that saying you use?
Yeah, well, the brand of CHE, because we've been going around a long time, we have students all over the world, it's global now, but you have to be global, but you've also got to be local. That's why we have CHE in Hungary, we have CHE in Bulgaria, we have CHE in Turkey, Poland, now Australia. because it has to be local, as in, I think you need, well, I think it's much more beneficial if you've got people that are local who are holding the space, especially for sort of doing the clinical work or tutorials or whatever, the supervision. It's nice to have that local connection because we do have time differences. And I remember, Elaine, when I was doing tutorials with you in the very big start of, it's nighttime or it's very late. I mean, we have students getting up, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to attend tutorials, and that shows your people's dedication. It's amazing, but I think that it's nicer to be local as well, to have that in your time zones.
Yeah. So I want to say like a couple of the things that I'm excited about. One of them is that, like you said, we will be having, it feels to me like the best of both worlds, because students in Australia will have access to the world-class 28-year experience of the CHE platform. So you will have all of these beautiful lectures. So it's not just like reading like I've seen some other schools do. It's actually lectures from all these incredible people. You do all your assessments online. And yes, there are assessments, and maybe we can talk a little bit about why we feel assessments are important. We'll loop back to that one. Remind me, don't let me forget. So you will do all of that, and then you'll have the AI, all that. But then we will be having regular Zoom meetings, and anybody who knows me knows I am an in-person kind of gal. That's why I, wanted to do Unleashing Homeopathy. Elaine will know about the podcast parties and launch parties and all sorts of the parties that I've had here in Perth where we get together and we have a great time, and I get fairy kara, we have food, we have entertainment. It's always great. And I have already organised homeopaths in various states around Australia where I'm like, listen, guys, if this goes off and we have like loads of students, will you be my contact in the States so that students can meet up in person? And I have to like breathe. I've already got so many ideas.
She needs a remedy. She needs
I am
Sophia.
so excited. Because also Marcus has said that we are allowed to have our own kind of flavor here in Australia. So it means that even though we have that solidity of the classical homeopathy, we are going to be doing in-person triturations of Australian substances. We are going to be getting in like extra lecturers, like here and there, of some of the like out of the box, like kind of crazy stuff that I like to do. So just to kind of like, keep you interested and keep you on your toes. So I am excited about that part as well. But maybe you can talk to me a little bit, Elaine, about the assessments. How do you find them, and do you think they're necessary?
I do think they're necessary. We talked about actually this before when we did that other episode. I learn a lot more through the assessments, because even though at the time you're like, assessments, it makes you research. Number one, we need to know how to research as homeopaths because we're under attack all the time. So you need to be able to, there's so much evidence out there. There's so much stuff there that you can back it up. I mean, again, it's back to learning about the Cuba one where they used homeopathy on a massive scale and it was successful. I never knew about this, but it teaches you how to research. You learn more about what you're talking about when you do research, and you have to, I could listen to lectures all day. Obviously, when the lectures are good, that part is easy. I really enjoy it. And when I actually have to do an assignment, it makes me deep dive. And that's where I've actually learned a lot. Like why I mentioned Hashimoto's, that was one of my assignments. And I ended up, actually that assignment alone, we had to do an infographic. So I ended up having to do the infographic. And I actually did a little Canva course. So I was like, God, I'm going to create my logo on Canva. It's amazing how much you can do. I did an actual thyroid with the information in it. It was really, really good. But then we had to really deep dive into Hashimoto's. And now I know a lot about it. I did one on ulcerative colitis because my brother has it. And now I understand the whole allopathic side of it as well as the homeopathic side of it. But it means you just have to, you start reading, yourself. When you deep delve into a subject, you learn more about it. Absolutely. And I think, assignments are...
can I just chip in there? Because, look, the easiest thing in the world to do is to run a school of homeopathy with no assessments and assignments, right? I'm going to tell you that's the easiest thing to do. We decided very early on we were never going to follow that path. And, we were a degree course for many, many years. So we know all about the academic rigor of that. But we still feel that you need academic and clinical rigor. Anybody that goes to the CHE, and people know this in the community, if you're a CHE qualified practitioner, they know of your academic standard. It's like in here, Helios Pharmacy, Ainsworth Pharmacy, they'll only have often CHE graduates because they know the level of training that you've had. So I feel that's really important because we are a profession. We are a profession. And like you said, the things that we will deal with, the patients and clients that we see, it's really crucial that you really know what you're talking about. And the thing about assessments is, and we have different varieties of assessment, like I said, an infographic or an essay or a short test or whatever it is. What we're doing is we're throwing out the lectures to you and then you're bouncing it back. So we just know that you've got it. And as you know, you learn when you've got to do a deep dive. You learn so much. And you feel more confident. And so it's, we're trying to get you to be the best form of yourself as a practitioner as you can be. And this is why from year one, you will not go into the next year unless you have passed those assessments. If you need support, it's here for you, but we're not going to do it for you. You've still got to do it. And then at the end of it, like now, Elaine, you understand why you did all those assessments, because now at the end, you feel complete and competent that you know your stuff.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you were to go to a doctor, like if you had two doctors to choose from, one had assessments and one didn't, which doctor would you go to?
Exactly.
The other thing as well, like we'll just say back in the earlier, one of the assessments was just even, I think I was doing asthma. Like we can all Google asthma and see all these remedies. But we had to learn how to differentiate those remedies. So why would you use that remedy over that remedy? Because there can be lots of similarities in remedies. How do you understand how to differentiate? And that's one thing that's really been big for me when doing a course, how much there is to understand and how to actually do things like that, which I never would have been able to do as a home prescriber, Googling your whatever, you're reading books, but to actually understand and have that knowledge of actually really being able to differentiate properly. And that's a big thing because we do case assignments as well. So that's another really important thing as well, is to be practicing while you're studying. That was another selling point for me as well. It's really important. You're doing cases while you're in it. So at least when you leave, there's a lot more of a chance that you'll go into that. You're not going to just jump straight into a clinic and never have done clinic before. You already have the experience with the help of lectures. We do clinicals online as well. You sort of learn as students between you taking cases online.
And these are live sessions, yeah.
They're live sessions, yeah. And they're mandatory. And I agree with them being mandatory. I think it's great because that's what you're going out to do in the future.
I'm so glad that you've mentioned that, because Marcus and I were chatting the other day and he was talking about how you start practicing and you can actually start getting an income. And so, Marcus, you just take over that part and run with it.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. So this is a really unique thing about what we did at CHE, and we did this for a reason. Because I remember when I trained, a long time ago now, 32 years ago, we never had any lectures about practice building. We weren't encouraged to build practice. And we had one lecture right at the very end of our last lecture, in fact, how to start a practice and basically just give leaflets out. Guess what? It didn't work. And so it took me another 18 months to build it. I was so disappointed. And I was 23. This was my only income. So I vow when we started CHE, that would not happen. And so we followed the psychotherapy model, or the psychotherapist to train, is that you start seeing your own clients. You do our clinical work within our own live clinics, but we encourage you to start building your practice on the fast track, for example. Towards the end of the first year, we encourage you to start thinking about building up your practice. So by the time you qualify, and you're allowed to charge, you can't misrepresent yourself as being a qualified homeopath. We have a whole protocol on this, but you can charge and it gets you into charging like a practitioner. So that therefore, by the time you qualify, you already have some kind of practice up and running. I mean, you mentioned Samina. I mean, I remember Samina had like 40, 50 patients she had when she qualified. She went for it. So that one thing of starting early like that, I can tell you now, it's puts you way, way ahead of being in practice, because you're already in practice by the time you get your graduation certificate. You just swap over to being qualified and your qualified rates.
That was me. I just got straight into it. I know there were a few students in our class who really getting into practice thing was just so much, like they just couldn't get their head around it, and they left it, like they did the whole course and only started doing that kind of afterwards. And so the actual graduation was delayed for them because they left it, whereas I was just going for it. And I love this.
Otherwise you lose momentum, Eugenie, don't you? You lose that momentum. You need to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, for anybody who's concerned about, like, how do you pay for it? Because often it will be mums with young kiddies. That's often when we discover homeopathy. And so they're like, well, it might be a single income family. So how are we going to do this? But you can actually generate an income in this way by doing consultations. There's something else that I was thinking we should probably mention, is that for CHU Australia, accreditation is something that people always ask for, and that's something that definitely we will be accredited with an Australian organisation within the next couple of years. There's a couple of things shifting in the Australian homeopathic scene. So there's a couple of little things that we're just waiting to kind of find out information on, but it will be an accredited course, which is absolutely amazing. Something I also love about CHE is that you have the option of the foundation course or the 2-year or the 4-year. And Marcus, you can probably explain that bit better than I can. And we'll be offering that in Australia as well.
Yeah. So basically, we offer all different levels of training. So we offer, for example, we gave away the home prescriber course, which we still give away with Hilary Dorham. And I think now it's up to 55,000 people have done that course around the world. But it's a really lovely, and again, if you put it in the show notes, if people want access a free 5-hour video course on home prescribing, definitely would highly recommend it. Even if you don't go further with it, it's good to know because we gave it away during lockdown because we wanted people to be empowered, especially families around homeopathy. And then often what happens when people listening now, and I say this to everybody, I always say, you don't decide to get into homeopathy. It calls you when the time is right. And if you hear, and anybody listen, if you feel that calling, then you've got to follow your heart because it is pulling you towards it. But often people go, oh, I'd love to be a practitioner. Now, if people are working, and we have a lot of people working or busy with family and work and working 5 days a week, then I would always say maybe do the part-time course, which is our 4-year training. And with that, you get one module released once a month of like 8 or 9 lectures of an hour. So it's about 8 or 9 hours a month. And then you have tutorials monthly as well. So that's really good. It's a really lovely way. You can pace yourself. And I'm telling you now, that 4 years, well, no, as you get older, it goes like that. It goes very quickly. Even our 4th years now can't believe they're coming to graduation. Mm-hmm. But they would probably love to do the fast track. So now the fast track is for people that do have the time and can commit because it's double really what it is double what the part-time. Instead of 1 module a month, it's 2 modules a month. So it's around 15 or 16 hours of lectures you have to watch in that month. And you will have, I think it's about 2 or 3 live sessions, Elaine, isn't it, a month on that, which are like 90 minutes, or if it's clinics, it's obviously longer. But you have to have that level of commitment. And we give you all the dates in advance for the year, so you know exactly where you need to be or what time. If for whatever reason, some of the tutorials, for example, everything's recorded. Anyway, if you do it on Zoom, it's all recorded. And it'll go into your student portal, but there is mandatory things you have to attend, as Elaine said, especially in the clinical work, because we need to know, we need to see you in action, we need to observe you, we need to know that you're clinically competent. So the fast track is very much where people go, you know what, hell, I just want to dive into this. I want to do it in 2 years. Now there's a third option, which is you can do 2 years part-time and then 1 year fast track. So you can actually do it in 3 years or 1 year fast track. And you may say, oh, this is too much or things change at home. Then you do the other 2 years part-time. So you can actually do it in 3 years. So you can do it in 2, 3 or 4 years. Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned is the foundation course. So some people will be listening going, oh, I would love to be a practitioner, but I don't know whether I can do it. I've been out of education a long time and I've got 2 kids. My head's all, can I write an essay or do an infographic or whatever? Well, we do a 1 year foundation. And what that is the first year of the practitioner training, but with no assessments. So you're in the same class with the practitioner group, you attend tutorials, but you don't do the assessments, okay? So you kick your shoes off and just enjoy it. But it's often for people maybe not want to be a practitioner, okay? So they just want to deepen their knowledge over a year, which will happen. However, you do have the option halfway through that foundation course, if you wish, you can convert to the practitioner training. And all that means is you just start doing the assessments. So you're in the same group that you started with, and you just start doing the assessments, and then you can continue on. So there's many, many options according to where you're at. And that's why it's important that we do interview students, people who apply, just to make sure that this is right for you and you get the right fit. Because there's no point in saying yes to the fast track if you are working 5 days a week and you got, lots of family stuff, because we're setting you up to fail. We want to find the right thing for you.
It was very important for me that we give these students a choice, because if you sign up for like a 2 year and then you fall pregnant, like I did, like halfway through, and then
happens a lot. Yeah.
And then suddenly you can't do it anymore, then where are you left with? But, you can just switch to the 4 year then. It's not an issue. Yeah. Or if you're doing the 4 year and then situation changes and then suddenly you want to do it faster, you've got that option. So that was really important for me because, most of the students, it'd be interesting to know your statistics, Marcus. I would say probably 90% of them would be women training.
Yes, 98.
We need more men, just by the way.
We need more men. Big call to men out there.
We really need more men. Please, if you feel called, desperately need more men. And as women, things change, and just having that flexibility there, for me, was really important. I'm somebody that likes options. I don't like to be pinned down for anything in life. So I want to have options, and I want to give that to others as well. So that got me really excited.
Well, because anything can happen. I mean, over 28 years, I can't tell you the things that have happened. And as homeopaths, we understand that. We understand that, things can happen in people's lives. So we're always trying to find the right solution. And like you said, that's the flexibility that you can do that.
You've got a Q&A.
In our course, that dropped down, after the first year, did go for 3 and 4. Because I think maybe 2 or 3 people did it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just having that option there is amazing.
Yeah.
Marcus, did I hear you say you've got a Q&A session coming up for you?
I have, yes, I have. I've got what we call an open day, but it's not all day. It's for an hour and a half, 2 hours, where I do an open session about learning more about the courses that we offer. And that's on the 28th of June, 6 to 7:30 p.m. BST, British Summer Time. And that's really an opportunity where I talk about CHE, we get some graduates on, some students on, their experiences, and I go through all the different courses that we offer, just like I've explained now, but a little bit more detail. So if people want to come along, put it in the show notes. We'll put the link in there, and you can, do register for that, which is great. And again, questions, you can ask me any questions about the courses, but it'll give you a really good overview. And it's called Becoming a Homeopath. That's why I use that title, because it is about becoming. And I share my story, always talk about my story, how I got into homeopathy. It's a really great session for people to know more.
Amazing. Now, CHE Australia will also have that, but I just don't have a date to give you just yet. So I'll have a chat with Marcus, because he is going to come along. So it'll be probably 9 or 10 BST. It'll be, our evenings somewhere.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
Afternoon somewhere. And I just don't have a date that I can give our listeners yet, but it'll be all over my social media, and you will be inundated with CHE Australia stuff on my social media in the coming days. But we will be having several Q&As, because I really want the people in Australia to feel really comfortable if this is their choice. And there's so many homeopathy schools to choose from, and it's so brilliant that we have that option, because just like there's lots of homeopaths, and it's important that you choose the right homeopath for you to work with as a client, there's lots of homeopathy schools. And, we don't want everyone. We want the ones that want a really solid classical foundation, that are open-minded enough to consider all the other possibilities, that are ready to challenge themselves with assessments so that they can be the best practitioner, confidently go out in the world and have a successful practice. So that's not for everyone. And so we're not going to try and be everything for everyone. And that is completely fine and absolutely awesome. And I think if more of us kind of think that way, then the world will be a better place.
Absolutely.
You will find your tribe, and you will vibe with the right place that's right for you.
Yeah, no, totally. And I say to everybody, if you don't feel it, then, don't apply. It's you've got to feel it in your heart. And I think I'm so excited about Australia. I think there's a lot happening there. I mean, we've got students in Australia already and graduates, but there's something very special. And I think, with you, Eugenie, I think you're just going to take it to a whole different level.
Aww.
So it's going to be amazing. It really is going to be amazing. I'm excited. I want to join it.
And even in CHE, 50% of the lecturers are actually men. When you talk about the statistics.
I know. We try to get the balance as much as we can, Elaine.
It's great.
But your clinicians are all women. I think all female, all the clinicians, aren't they? Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, we try to get the balance. We're very aware of the balance.
I'm just sitting here trying to feel into if I share this personal bit or not, but I am going to share it anyway, because I feel it's important. So the 28th of May, so it's just 2 weeks ago now, I had a astrology natal chart reading with the amazing Liz Norman. So she has been on the podcast as well. She's been a homeopath for 20 years. She's worked for Camilla and Jeremy Scher for, I think, 20 years as well, but she was an astrologer first, trained as a homeopath. She's incredible. And then last year I had my natal chart done with her, and then this year as well. And it's lovely having it done every year around your birthday, because it kind of tells you what's up for the year ahead and what to kind of look out for. And she said to me that I don't know much about astrology. I like it, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just whenever she says stuff, it's quite magical. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And she said to me, your Mercury's in the 3rd house, but it's actually moving to the 9th house. And I think she says the 9th house is about, the 3rd house is about communicating kind of one-on-one, which is what I'm doing with my clinic, but it's your whatever planets, no, that's right. She said your north node is actually the Mercury's in the 9th house. So any astrologist, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but this is all I remember from what she said. She said about the north node is something to do with your karmic journey, and the Mercury is actually in your 9th house, which is to do with teaching. And I've been avoiding teaching, and any like the rebels, like Elaine, like the homeopaths on my team, everyone's been like, Eugenie, you need to teach. You've got all this stuff from the podcast that you've learned. You need to teach people. I'm like, no, I'm not a teacher. I don't want to do it. And as I was chatting with Liz, I just heard my mum's voice. So my mum passed away just over a year ago. I just heard my mum's voice saying, Eugenie, I'll help you. And so she was a teacher for 40 years. She was the most amazing teacher. She taught me for a couple of years as well. And she taught in Kazakhstan and in Dubai and South Africa. She was unbelievable. And whenever we'd go to supermarkets and things, I always felt like I was like going shopping with a rock star, because all the kids would always like come running up to her and go, Mrs. Vogt. Her name was Adelaide. And yeah, so the kids just like loved her. She was such an amazing teacher. And I just heard her voice saying, Eugenie, I'll help you. Well, she said Eugenie because that's actually my right name. But in Australia, I'm Eugenie. And so in totally unplanned, Marcus and I had this chat, and I just said to him, look, we really need good, solid training in Australia. And I was like, maybe I should do it. And he's like, Eugenie, I've just been waiting for you to realize that. And everybody, when I've told them, like everyone's like, yay, finally you're realizing what all of us have been telling you. And even my husband, everyone's like, yes, this is what you've been needing to do. And I tell you what, it just feels so right, Marcus. And I'm so excited. Yeah. I wouldn't want to have done it if it wasn't like the 28 years of CHE, the incredible lectures, the solid foundation, the incredible platform that you have. I wouldn't have wanted to do this unless I had all of those incredible structures in place. And I knew that if I was going to train homeopaths in Australia, that they are going to be awesome. So I'm so excited to do this.
I'm so excited. And I think you're right. I think I said this to you at the time. Well, I said it to you, didn't I? That when you first mentioned it, I was going to say to you, and this little voice said to me, no, it's got to come from you. It's got to come from Eugenie. And then when you text me and message, I got it first thing in the morning, and I heard your voice message, and I said, let's have a chat, because the other voice on my head, another voice was saying to me, she's ready.
Yeah, that's my mum. So she was like, I think she was, having a little chat with you, whispering in your ear. She's very persuasive. So that's actually why we would headbutt, because we're very headstrong, both of us. So she would have known to say to Marcus, let Eugenie make up her own mind. If you suggest it, she's not going to do it. It needs to come from her. So chehomeopathy.com.au is now a thing. My husband has literally just registered it. And if you want to find out more about CHE in the UK and worldwide, go to chehomeopathy.com. Also, if you want to come hang out with me, Marcus and Elaine in Bali, we still have a handful of tickets left. Check out unleashinghomeopathy.com. Elaine, where can people book with you?
Well, as part of our CHE journey as well, we had to do an assignment of setting up our business. So we got it way back so that we could be, slowly doing stuff. So I have my website, which is not properly up yet, but it's ElaineMacHomeopathy.com. No, it's ElaineMac.com. And then I have a homeopathy and a movement one. You can find me there, and a Facebook page will be coming soon.
I'm so proud of you. I was saying to Elaine, she needs to come join my team. I'd love to have her on my team, but actually I think she's going to be so inundated. She's not going to need me. Like, I think you're going to be so inundated. We've had, Marcus, I don't know if I've told you, but we've actually, since I've met Elaine 9 years ago, like her nickname is the Oracle, because she just knows everything about everything. So I'm so excited for her clients, because they're going to get the everything of everything.
We have a community here as well now, which is great. And that, because you still need people to bounce stuff off. And I'm really lucky. Like, I have you and Nicole and Sharon, and there's so many, but there's a community out there now, and it's ever growing, which is really good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And community is everything. Community is everything as homeopaths. We need each other. And we need that support. And I just want to say, of being involved in homeopathy for 30 odd years, how excited I am at the moment about homeopathy, because I'm always excited about homeopathy, but particularly because this is our golden age. We're here. The lockdown, pandemic, it changed everything, and people are looking for a more natural healthcare solution for themselves and their family. And we need more practitioners out there to serve them. because the tide is here and it's coming and it's here. And people, they want to go natural, but they don't know where to go. And, still a lot of people don't know what homeopathy is. That's why I wrote the book, Homeopathy at Home. It's like, I want to get people to know it actually exists. And so they got more choices around the healthcare. So,
well, I just also want to throw it in there that the Homeopathy Hangout podcast is now in the top 1%
amazing.
Globally. So not in the health sector, not in the alternative medicine sector. 1% of all, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of podcasts there are. There are statistics on exactly how many. The Homeopathy Hangout podcast is in the top 1%. And that also wouldn't have been if CHE hasn't sponsored us since the start of this year, because I was ready to give the podcast up because it was costing me so much money. And Marcus said, Eugenie, you have to keep doing what you're doing. You have to get that out. And you know what Marcus just said? What do you need? He just said, what do you need? How can I help you? That's all he asked. It's like, give you whatever you need to keep it going. So thank you so much, Marcus. I feel like we've done this together. Top 1%. Well, no,
yeah, but because it's so impacting community again, because the impact I know that it has and where you're coming from, it's about, I always say it's about who people are, not to say what they do. That's what's so crucial. And that's why you've got the success, because it's really authentic. And in a world of a lot of unauthentic things in the world, authenticity to me is the number one. So big congratulations to you. It's amazing what you've achieved with this podcast. And you've helped so many people find homeopathy, but also encourage them to keep on going and doing what they do, or students. And, so a big, big thank you from the homeopathic community to you. For doing it.
I've already cried once. That made me cry again. I just want to say,
It's a loving today. It's a loving.
Joe Rogan is 0.01%. So that's my next goal. Well, 0.5 is my next goal, and then 0.01%. I want to be up there with Joe Rogan and just have everybody know about homeopathy, that it's just a household thing and everyone talks about it.
Absolutely.
Also,
Joe
just
Rogan
quickly,
continue.
yeah. The last little thing I do want to add is that we are going to cap CHE Australia.
Yes.
I have got 100 in my head. It definitely is not going to be more than that, because I want to make sure it's always, anybody who knows me, it's about quality, not quantity.
Yep.
I'm not in this for the money ever. And anybody who knows me, I don't need to justify that. Anybody who knows me personally, will know my heart. That's what I'm about. So we're going to cap it, because I want to make sure I can hold space for these students. I just quickly posted it last Friday in my free group, and there were more than, I think it was about 50. I need to go just double count, because there were so many. Hey, Elaine's in that group as well. I sent Marcus some screenshots of everyone. I was like, yes, yay, finally. I can't wait to learn from you.
Yeah.
So I think those spots are going to get snapped up really, really quickly. I do have I had a chat with my hubby on the way home, and we are going to have a really big surprise for the first 10 who sign up. I'm not going to announce it publicly. It'll just be like those first 10 who sign up, but we're going to cap it, and it's going to be incredible. We've got all the support of CHE. I think if anybody has made it this far in the episode, they probably get where we're going with all this, right? So I can probably stop there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So excited. I cannot wait to hang out with the two of you in Bali in a couple of months.
I know.
How
it's going to be
cool
great.
Is that
It's
going
not
to
long.
be?
Yeah, it's not long. It's going to be fantastic. And I'd say, yeah, like you said, there's a few tickets left. If people want to come, it's amazing. Really incredible, and some incredible people. And it's just lovely to hang out. And
incredible speakers.
Really,
okay,
really great speaker.
Ambika Waters is coming all the way from America. The conference is a month before her 80th birthday. She's going to be talking about color remedies, sound remedies, just stuff to blow your mind. She's so absolutely incredible. And for us to learn from somebody with that depth of experience, and Mikhail Yakir has also practiced for decades. Paul Terrio, who's, all of these people have been on my podcast as well. Carol Boyce, she's been practicing for like 40 odd years.
Oh, a long time. Oh, yeah, long time.
Leslie Martinez, Janie and Rita doing cacao ceremony for us. It's going to be, incredible. I can't wait.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you get to hang out with all those amazing people. That's what I loved about the last time.
And the food.
You're sitting beside these really well-known homeopaths and just talking to them. That actually was the best part of that conference, because we all integrated as a group for all our meals. We're all hanging out together. I loved it.
I was going to say, it's not like a conference, though. Like you said, it's like a retreat, isn't it? It's like everybody,
it's healing.
Amazing.
It's healing for homeopaths. And, just like being under that banyan tree, the incredible food, the incredible people. There's like a few surreal moments where I'm like in the pool at the venue with Angelika Lemke, and I'm like, I have to like pinch myself, but I get to like hang out in the pool with this incredible woman and have these amazing conversations. And like we went ecstatic dancing on the last night, and Declan Hammond's there, like, dancing. And I'm like, What?
Yeah.
This is so crazy. Like, you just have to pinch yourself and, the amazing conversations. And when us homeopaths are together, there is never a shortage of things to talk about. You do not need to know a homeopath from, like, a bar of soap or whatever. Like,
No,
and you
it's
will
true.
have something to talk about.
Absolutely. Always. Always.
All right.
No.
Shall we wrap things up? Is there anything that we've missed?
Not at all. Just to say, we're looking forward to the great graduation in London. So we've got students coming from all over the world into London on the online course and the classroom course that we have. So we're looking to see Elaine. I'll be very pleased to hand you your graduation certificate.
Yay.
It's a beautiful ceremony. So it looks like Harry Potter's hall in Harry Potter. It's a beautiful hall that we did the graduation. So big congratulations to Elaine. You've done it. And yeah, amazing.
So proud of
us. It'll be great.
Incredible. And Marcus, we look forward to inviting you and your beautiful family to Australia in 2 years for our first graduation as well.
Absolutely. We'll be there. I'll be there before then.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty, guys. See you in Bali
Thanks,
soon.
guys. Thank you.